Deputy Martin, please.
In the housing crisis vein, and accepting that it's a crisis, I put to you earlier the issue, the regulatory framework governing the submission by local authorities of housing schemes to the Department of the Environment, and the inexplicable delays in sanctioning such projects. And if it is an emergency and if it is a crisis, surely that framework should be changed. The idea that a council that wants to build 10 houses or anything that costs over $2 million have to submit those plans to the department, go through a 4-stage process, 59-week timetable, is ridiculous. If we accept it's a crisis, there are housing schemes that have been submitted as far back as last February that have not been sanctioned. And that's when I asked the question, do people not get it? There is a real crisis here. Schemes are ready to go.
Yeah, well, let's get the answer
and I think it's unacceptable what's going on, and it's not defendable. I don't think this can be defended.
Thank you, Jan Corlin, and thank you, Deputy, for the question. I mean, first thing to acknowledge is that when we're talking about building homes that are going to stand for 60 or 70 years, to house families and many generations of families, we have to get it right. Certain planning schemes in the past did not get it right. What we did do in the department was we worked with the chief executives of the local authorities to actually streamline what was an 8 or 9 stage process down to the 4-stage process, which is 59 weeks, and which is comparable to the private sector when you're talking about large-scale development of housing on large sites and the different work that needs to be done as part of that timeline. One of the things I looked to try and cut down the time on was on procurement. But in relation to EU procurement law, we can't step around that. There is a 1-stage process for local authorities to go through, which they can go through. It's a much quicker process. And about 100 projects that have come to the department through the 4-stage process could have gone through the 1-stage, but the local authorities didn't submit them under the 1-stage process. That is why I have been bringing in the chief executives of the local authorities into housing summits to talk through the problems that we have and to make sure that the local authorities are trying to bring about housing in the fastest way possible. It's also why I'm currently in discussions with the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform to see what we can do about public spending controls to make the 1-stage process work better for those local authorities who would use it. But there are currently over 100 projects that should have gone through the 1-stage process that didn't, and the city managers didn't put them through. The local authorities provide local authority housing. We provide the policy and the money. Deputy.
Please, Deputy Martin, the time is up. Please.
And I told you we were addressing it, Deputy. I did say that.
Deputy Mary Lou MacDonald.